Christmas came sooner than anyone had expected in Pacifica that year, what with the glorious fall sunshine after the usual summer of fog, which had been followed by rain, then followed by even more fog. Everybody was so confused about the weather and the time of year, even the surfers had taken to carrying umbrellas. Simon and Chloe, on the other hand, had been anxiously awaiting the festive season, and had been making lists of all the things they wanted. All the latest digital games, fashionable sneakers, skateboards and bicycles were on the list, along with smaller things like books and tubes of paint, as they didn't want to seem too greedy. Oh, and an apple, just in case. So as people searched for that extra last-minute set of Christmas lights and wondered if they really had left it too late to start making a Christmas cake, the fog descended as heavy as fog had ever descended upon the small coastal town of Pacifica, and lo, Christmas Eve rolled in. "If only we'd ordered the real Christmas tree sooner," said the mayor, as he looked at the ordinary street tree that they now had to decorate instead. "Ah, well, we'll just have to make do with this ordinary tree, though I don't know how anyone will see the lights. I mean, it's a nice tree, but it's not very tall. Not Christmas tree tall." The mayor didn't know just how true his words were, as Santa and his famous herd of reindeer flew in over Daly City, over Skyline Boulevard, over Highway 1, and on into... Well, hang on there for a moment. I was going to say Pacifica, but something seems to have gone wrong. The fog is so thick that Santa can't find the town. "Normally I look for the lights on the Christmas tree outside the Civic Centre, then hang a right," said Santa. "Then I go down to the Kit Kat Cafe for the cookies they always leave me, and circle around the pier, pop down to Rockaway Beach for a milkshake, then start my deliveries somewhere over Lindemar," he continued. "But I can't see my hand in front of my face in all this fog. Even Rudolph the reindeer's famous red nose can't find the way." Meanwhile, Simon and Chloe were wondering where to put the list they had made. They decided to make a joint list as they thought it would sound better if they said, "Well, yes, it does sound a lot, but it is for the both of us to share." Simon looked out at the fog. "I don't think it matters where we put it," he said. "Santa will never find our house in this fog." Chloe came and looked out the window too. "I don't think he'll find anyone's house in this," she said. "Oh, and especially without the big Christmas tree outside the Civic Centre to guide him," said Mum, who was hanging a sprig of mistletoe from the ceiling. "And he absolutely refuses to use GPS," said Dad, who stood under the mistletoe, smiling up at Mum. "Santa's old school." "We've got to do something," whispered Chloe to Simon. Meanwhile, Santa had doubled back along the coast and was now circling the Golden Gate Bridge, crisscrossing between San Francisco and Marin Headlands. "Maybe if I just deliver a few more presents to Sausalito," he said, "the fog might have lifted then by the time I get back to Pacifica." Back in Pacifica, the fog showed no sign of lifting. If anything, it was getting worse. "I've got an idea," said Chloe. "I know what we can do to help Santa." "What?" said Simon, who was secretly getting a bit sleepy, but didn't want his sister to see. Chloe led her brother to the back door. They looked out across the yard, over the road and up the hill, on top of which lay Sam's castle. The castle had been built many years ago by a man who wanted it for his wife, so that she could always be reminded of her homeland, which was Ireland, and the castles she had known there as a child. But there it now stood, empty except for a collection of strange old furniture. "I found the spare set of Christmas lights that Dad was looking for earlier," said Chloe. "Well, shouldn't we give them to Dad then?" said Simon. "Not yet," said Chloe. "Follow me." They ran across the yard, scampered over the wall, and climbed the hill to the castle. It was dark and spooky, with fog swirling all around them. Simon was actually quite scared, but he pretended he wasn't. He didn't want his sister to see. Just inside the castle walls was a tall flagpole. Chloe tried to climb the pole, but couldn't get a grip. Simon, however, had won prizes at school for his rope-climbing ability, so he shimmied up the pole in seconds flat. "Now wrap the lights around the top," said Chloe. "OK," said Simon, "but where do we plug them in?" "Oh," said Chloe, "I hadn't thought of that." "I don't know," she said. "I think I might be able to help you there," said a voice behind them. They turned and looked and saw that it was the mayor. "I always like to come up here on Christmas Eve," said the mayor, "to wave as Santa passes over and welcome him officially to Pacifica." The mayor held up an extension cord to plug the lights into, and thanks to you and these Christmas lights, Santa will be able to see us over the fog. "Hopefully," said Simon. "Fingers crossed," said Chloe. Meanwhile, Santa had finished his rounds in Sausalito and headed south again along the coast. "It's no good," he thought. "The fog's still too thick." But then he saw, poking up through the mist, a long pole, and wrapped around the top of the pole 100 of the prettiest Christmas tree lights that the Lindemar hardware store had ever sold. "Hurrah!" shouted Santa. "Onwards, Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen, and old what's-his-name, old Thingamy. Ah yes, my old friend Rudolph." Santa and his sleigh, pulled by his faithful reindeer, shot over the castle as the mayor waved and Simon and Chloe cheered. Onwards to the pier, which Santa circled twice because he liked it so much, and then delivered presents to every house and home in Pacifica. And in the morning, when Simon and Chloe woke up, they even got 2 of the things that had been on their list. To share between them, of course.